Good afternoon. I'm Shania, and this is One News Now. Several LGUs have already signed deals with foreign vaccine manufacturers. But Malacanang says they can't purchase shots without the approval of the national government. Let's discuss this further with Dr. Anthony Leachon, public health advocate and former advisor to the COVID-19 National Task Force. Good afternoon, sir. Is it really guaranteed that the LGUs who have earmarked funds for vaccines and have inked deals will actually get the number of shots that they're targeting?
Well, the arrangement is a tripartite deal that is the national government and then the LGU and the pharmaceutical company. It's based on the assumption that is an emergency use authorization, meaning to say you cannot do commercial selling of that particular vaccine, and the government should actually arrange that with the pharmaceutical company through a bulk purchase. And this has been explained in the Senate probe this morning. And the limiting factor is whether there will be a new legislation or an executive order for that to take place. But at this point in time, I think the local government unit are actually reserving money just in case there would be um, discrepancy in terms of the priority list of the government vis-a-vis the priority list of the local government unit.
All right. Well, the procurement, Doc, is just one part of the equation. The other one is logistics and distribution. How are we doing on that front?
Well, I think the trust of the government is to put the some of the products that would need um, cold chain infrastructures. For example, for highly urbanized cities, they would actually allocate or assign Pfizer for those certain local government units. I'm not really sure about the plan because we are doing multiple deals. We have deals, of course, with Astra and then with Pfizer and then with Comabox, and then you have the government just ink a deal with Sinovac. So unlike in other countries, you have only one or two products, so it's very easy in terms of dealing with them. And there are also variable efficacy rates, and I'm not sure whether this would be, effective considering the efficacy rate of certain vaccine may not be at par with some of the efficacy rates of the other vaccine. So therefore, the question would be, what would be the strategic areas that you will focus on rather than do the vaccination in certain areas without achieving the herd immunity. You know that herd immunity can only be achieved if you actually do 70% of the population. But considering the low acceptability rate of the Filipinos on vaccines and also on the choice of the vaccines, this will matter. This will matter.
All right. Doc, it seems so that all the LGUs so far have marked their preference for AstraZeneca, as well as those other shots manufactured in the West. Will this affect procurement in other way? I mean, it is no secret that on the other hand, we have the national government preferring Sinovac.
Well, I think the choice is clear. Is that um, because of the efficacy rate of Sinovac around 50%, with a range of 50% to 90%, with an average of about 70%. This would affect, of course, the choice of the local government unit. And I think the selection guidelines are clear that they would go for more efficacious and safer. And of course, with those vaccines launched in established markets, like reference countries in the world, like European Union, United States, and other countries in which the Pfizer, Moderna, or Astra have been launched. So it would really affect the strategic plan of the government in terms of the national vaccination launch.
All right, so what does that mean for us, Dr. Leachon? Does it mean we should not get our hopes up yet on all these numbers being announced by LGUs? And also, of course, that the target date supposedly for the rollout is as early as next month in February. Can we count on that?
Yeah. Well, that is something that we need to understand because the LGUs have Inc. deals with, of course, with AstraZeneca. I think 70 to 80%, but we don't know the day one for each local government unit. We need to synchronize this to achieve maximum vaccination because we need to have herd immunity, and I think it's just one. You need the one big bang approach in order to achieve herd immunity, and that's why it is important for us to determine the day one of vaccination, and then we need to synchronize the efforts of the National Capital Region. To me, the National Capital Region mayors, Calabarzon and Region 3, these are contiguous area and would consist about 70% of the number of cases of COVID, as well as these are areas which would comprise 70% of the business capital of the country. This should also be prioritized. But I have not heard anything from the Senate in terms of the chronological sequencing of the launch dates of the Metro Manila mayors or the National Capital Region or any LGUs for that matter.
All right, sir, just one follow-up question that really quickly. If from day one we roll out, for example, day one is February 1, how long should we accomplish the vaccination of 70% of the population in order for it to be effective for herd immunity? Is there a timeline?
Well, in the United States, according to Dr. Anthony Fauci, based on the speed of their execution as well as the focus, they would actually achieve their herd immunity in 6 months. But since we don't have right now a clear timeline as to the launch of each LGU, I'm not sure whether we can achieve the herd immunity in about a year or two. And that's the reason why the initial press statement of Secretary Galvez is that they will be able to vaccinate the whole country in the next 3 or 5 years. So we should be clear right now on the timelines and determine on day one of the vaccination of the National Capital Region area, particularly the National Capital Region area, which is actually the business capital and would comprise about 13 million of the population. I think that is very important that we focus on the most number of cases, the business epicenter, and that would mean faster herd immunity that will trigger economic recovery and bring our lives to normalcy.
All right. Okay, sir. Off topic now. Going back to the Traslacion, the celebration of the Feast of the Black Nazarene over the last weekend. Of course, we were expecting higher transmission rates also after the holiday season. How will authorities now monitor the self-quarantine of the attendees? Have you heard anything about that?
Well, I just heard it from the Department of Health that those who would manifest COVID symptoms would isolate or quarantine themselves, but I don't know how to implement that. And that's a big problem because we are thinking this after the event, considering that we have projected that there might be a surge considering the holiday season and the new strain. For one, the Opta Research Group has declared that the reproduction number as of yesterday is more than one, which means that there would be more transmission and more contagiousness in terms of our COVID cases. Number two, we know for a fact that the ATF guidelines would not recommend, of course, mass gathering of this magnitude. And then you have here the impact of the holiday rush, also the post-typhoon unintentional, of course, surge because of the engagement in the evacuation centers. All this and more. And in the last 2 days, we noticed also that the cases have been increasing. We had 1,700 the other day. Last night we have 1,900, and this has been so far the highest number since December 18. So we're projecting right now a higher number of cases because of this trustless.
All right, thank you so much for that, Dr. Anthony Leachon, former NTF COVID-19 advisor. Thanks for your time. The PNP says this year's celebration of the Feast of the Black Nazarene went generally peaceful. PNP Chief General Debold Sina says no untoward incident was recorded from the event last Saturday, where some 150,000 people attended. He added that all 4,500 police officers deployed along Quiapo will undergo swab testing. Police officers who test negative will be allowed to return to duty, while those who will render positive results will be sent to a quarantine facility. The Health Department earlier advised attendees to undergo self-quarantine.
5 days from now, those who were deployed, personnel that was deployed in the Black Nazarene celebrations will have their mandatory swab test. No? So this is to determine if there's really a spread of COVID-19 in the PNP during that incident, okay? During that event, during event. So I think the health service has already prepared on this directive, and we are just waiting on the time. At minomonitor din nila kung may mga na-deploy ba kami during the Black Nazarene na nag-develop ng symptoms.
Over at the House of Representatives, one lawmaker says that talks on charter change will only focus on economic provisions. Ako Bicol Party-list Representative Alfredo Garbin says they will not be touching on political provisions in the Constitution. He also assured the public that there will be no other agenda in the hearing scheduled this week. Garbin, who chairs the Committee on Constitutional Amendments, says that they will release the report and endorse it to the plenary after the inquiry. Supporters of Chacha have drawn flack for revisiting the issue in the middle of the pandemic.
Well, RG, talagang focus lang tayo sa restrictive economic provisions, particularly Article 12, 14, and 16 of the 1987 Constitution. And it does not speak of any political provisions, but solely confined to the national patrimony and economy. Klarado naman dun eh.
For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.